Hello everyone, I'm Julia, and today I would like to explain to you guys how you can solve for the derivative of g of 2 pi over 3 in this problem. So it says, suppose fx is equal to x times secant x for when x is between negative power 2 and positive power 2, and gx is equal to the inverse of fx. Given that the point pi over 3 comma 2 power 3 is on the graph of fx, what is the value of the derivative of the g of 2 power 3? Well, first, whenever I see this equation here, gx is equal to the inverse of fx, I like to use the composition. So the f of g or the g of f. I use either one of these, and I will be just using this one. It doesn't really matter which one you use though. So if we use f of g, this is equal to f of gx, and we know that f of gx is equal to x, since the g is the inverse of the f. The g is the So now this is equal to x, so if we take the derivative on each side, then we can get, using chain rule, f prime of gx times g prime x is equal to 1. So now we can put in x equals 2 pi over 3, since we're trying to find g prime 2 pi over 3. So if we do that, we'll get the derivative of f of gx times the derivative of g of 2 pi over 3. Well, actually, you need 2 pi over 3 here too. So 2 pi over 3 and equal to 1. Since we're trying to solve for this, we can divide this part of the equation on both sides. So then we would just have g prime of 2 pi over 3 on one side and 1 over f prime of g 2 pi over 3 on the other side. So now obviously we're going to have to try to find for the g 2 pi over 3 first, and the way we're going to do that is, well, first a g 2 pi over 3, so g 2 pi over 3 is equal to the inverse of f 2 pi over 3, right? Because g is the inverse of the f from here. So then if we set g of 2 pi over 3 equal to k, then of course the fk would be equal to 2 pi over 3, right? So then we can just replace this with the function when x is equal to k. So we can just put x equals k into here. So then we would get k times secant k equals 2 pi over 3. Now we're going to have to solve for k, and the way we're going to do that is by changing the secant k into 1 over cosine k, because those two are the same. So then we would get k over cosine k equals 2 pi over k. So now how can we solve for k? Well, we can just put in, like random radians into k from the unit circle and see if we get 2 pi over 3. So let's try pi over 3. Well, I know that what k is, so cosine pi over 3 is equal to 1/2. So the bottom is 1/2, and the top, well, of course, will be equal to pi over 3 if we put in k equals pi over 3. Then we can simplify this into 2 pi over 3, which is what we're trying to get. So k is equal to pi over 3. So now we can take the value of k and put it into this equation here. So we would get the g 2 pi over 3 as equal to pi over 3. So then we can just replace the pi over 3 with g 2 pi over 3 here. So this is equal to 1 over f prime of pi over 3. So now we just have to find for the value of f prime pi over 3, which will be easy since we can just take the derivative of the function here and then put in x equals pi over 3. So the function is that, so to take the derivative of it, we would have to use the product rule. So the derivative of x is equal to 1 and then times secant x, leave secant x alone, and then plus x times the derivative of secant x, which is secant x times tangent x. And then if we put in x equals pi, x equals pi over 3, then we can get, well, secant pi over 3 is 1 over cosine pi over 3. Cosine pi over 3 is, okay, so cosine 1 over cosine pi over 3. Cosine pi over 3 is equal to 1/2, and this simplifies to 2. So secant pi over 3 is equal to 2 plus x, which is pi over 3, times secant pi over 3, which again is 2, and times tangent pi over 3, which is square root of 3. So now we can just simplify this a little bit, which would get us to 2 pi times square root of 3 all over 3. And we can just replace this part with the f prime pi over 3 here. So I'll just write here now, since I'm gonna run out of space. So then we would get 1 over f prime pi over 3, which is this 2 plus 2 pi times square root of 3 all over 3. And then you can just leave the answer as like this, but you can simplify it more by multiplying 3 on top and bottom of this fraction, which then you can get the answer as 3 over 6 plus 2 pi times square root of 3. And so that will be your answer for g prime 2 pi over 3. So I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. Today I explained to you guys how you can solve for the g prime of 2 pi over 3 in this problem. Thank you for watching, everyone.